Okay, I'm going to be doing a review on British Airways, only economy class unfortunately. It was a school trip and I contacted EF about upgrading to premium economy. Long story short, I would have had to do it at the airport. Didn't have time just because I couldn't really leave the group or anything, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because premium economy didn't look worth the $320, but hey, who knows, I didn't fly it. Then business class would have been a $3,200 upgrade round trip. Considering how short the flight wasn't worth it. And then business or first class, God bless those people for spending $10,000 on a round trip ticket from Toronto to London for such a short flight. I feel like I'd sleep through the whole thing, and well, then you're not really getting your $10,000 worth if you're not drinking in the first class cabin, I suppose. But you know me, I always think the money is worth the upgrade in the extreme classes and situations like that. Of course, if you have it. In regards to the economy class, British Airways overall is a very friendly airline. Now, it's hard to really evaluate customer service for an economy class flight because to be efficient and to get all the customers in economy taken care of, they do have to treat you like a number to a certain extent. So if you don't get the personal service you do at first in business, or just in general in the front of the plane in class wise, then you can't. You just can't make a comparison. On the way there, they were let's say more efficient about the way they took care of everything. We were fortunately on the older 777-200, not one of the revised aircrafts, and that may be part of the reason to our less than amazing flight. But it was dry and it was hot and it was cramped and the food looked pretty mediocre. But I mean, what can you say? It was a 9 o'clock flight out of Toronto to London, and you weren't really expecting a world of amazing flight accommodations. Nevertheless, I was happy to get off and into London Heathrow. On the way back, it was a different story. I mean, I got a window seat on the way back, which may have been different on the way there. I was in the middle, but the headmaster of the crew, he talked about crew names. He was apologetic for us being on the older aircraft, and us being on the newer aircraft would be an on-demand video service, but he detailed the video service of entertainment well. And the cabin crew on the way back to be a little bit nicer, a little bit more efficient. I found I was skipped over in some cases. It said like only people in the aisle got drinks when they brought by a drink tray, or if you were listening to headphones for even a second, they just completely disregarded you on the way from Toronto to London, but from London to Toronto. Service-wise, I was happy. I'm sure on the new plane it'd be better, and I mean, quite frankly, I'm probably just spoiled. I'm not sure. I know I have my reason of my principle of never flying economy again. The new Economy Plus on British Airways website does seem very nice, and in some cases I'm sure it is a very worthy upgrade, but from what I saw, it is a 242 configuration, and if you got in the 2 configuration, would be nice, or an aisle seat. But I don't like how it's set up that if you do get one of the 2 middle seats, you've got twice the chance of effectively getting a middle seat in premium economy. I don't like that setup. But that's the way it is, unfortunately, at least on the older aircraft. But I mean, if you can fly first or business, do it, even if it is a shorter flight, because flying, it's traveling, it's part of the travel experience. I know when it comes down to spending money on hotels or on flying, I've read on different forums, some people say it starts your journey, ends your journey. Spend the money on an incredible flight, and compromise in the hotel. You're not going to be in the room as much, and so on and so forth. Other people say, well, you're in the room more naturally, mathematically at least. You should be spending the money on the room because you're effectively in the room 24/7. Where your flight, you're not, and you're in your room more. But I mean, obviously you want to be able to afford both. But if that's not the best situation, flying to me is incredibly important. As long as your hotel grounds are nice, then your room can suffer a little bit, I suppose. I mean, you're really just looking for a roof over your head and a bed to sleep on. But I was very happy with British Airways. I believe their customer service lived up to the reputation. They're slightly warmer than, say, something like Air Canada, but at least flight attendant-wise, first class, domestic, on any domestic airline I've flown, maybe I've just been lucky, but I've found that the cabin crew in domestic first class American Airlines, and not American Airlines, but American-run airlines, has been very nice, and Air Canada a little less so, but still nice. Air Transat was excellent, And of course, JAL. JAL was just out of this world. I've heard, I mean, obviously economy, I've heard from on Singapore, even the flight attendants and stuff are incredible. And I imagine the same is true for Emirates. But if you're flying from Toronto to London, if you can save money on flying Air Transat, especially flying club class, I would do that. I mean, British Airways is more expensive from what I've heard. If it's your only option, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Thank you. Hello sir, welcome. Cross to the right, please. Thank you.
Carry-on baggage, it needs to be stowed in the overhead lockers or on...
20... Oh, I am in the middle of you two.
I don't think we can.
Right, put your bag up there, Louis. You won't have any luck up here.
Okay, oh no, I was just going to put it under the seat.
Okay.